Easy, mate.
Easy Tigers.
Easy Tigers. How is everyone?
Doing good, brother. Pretty baked.
Yeah.
I got 15 minutes to 4:20 p.m. here, so gonna have to roll one up while we're going. But how is everybody?
Yes,
Everybody's happy in here.
It's late night here, man. It's late night.
Yes, sir.
So
The late night European circuit, the just getting off work North America circuit.
That's
so
it.
the bedtime stories of tonight, we are delving into a whole lot of ancient, secret, lost civilization topics and such things as the pyramids of the Grand Canyon complex, pyramids around the U.S., around South America, the Americas, how complex they really are, as well as more and more pyramids and some real science. There we go. Oh, that didn't quite work. Nice. All right. Who is in the chat? We got 118 people watching right now. A beautiful thing.
Big up peoples.
We are live on Facebook. We are live on Paul Cook 1, Paul Cook 2, BurnEye ScienceGuy, and Crypto Alchemist, as well as Twitter. Getting the multi-stream down. So what we might actually do at the very end is to encourage the growth of the small channels, do the Brucey bonus, where we leave the backup channels live, where we'll play the full Dutch Synth Starfort video as the Brucey bonus on the backups, but we'll end the lives on the main channels. And so the Brucey bonus will be the full review, but we'll just do a short clip of that. And shout out to Dutch Synth and all that he's been doing on the Starforts lately, and just crazy excellent work. And for pretty much everybody knows the Dutch story and just the science he's done and how he came upon it, and that it's actually the earthquakes, the seismic activities that he's been monitoring and created the system of forecasting and all of that, the science of it, that showed him all of these Starfort mega terraformed structures, as well as the individual lost Starforts that he's now been finding in the different hidden history locations that he's discovered, and even the petroglyphs and geoglyphs in the U.S., mid-U.S. there. Shout out Luke. Luke was doing the earlier night European circuit there with, oh my goodness, fail. The European channels, partner channels, Bezertis. Oh God, I forget his name. I'm a horrible person. No, I'm not. I'm stoned. Anywho, rambling. How are you, Paul?
What's occurring?
So, before we went live, because we both spoke spliff and getting things ready, I had given you an excellent presentation of what the Ferram Foundation is and Arthur Ferram, and the link for the website, the Ferram Foundation, is in the description of the videos. And today we will be covering his section and work on the Bosnian pyramids and the geoglyphology that he calls, or the science of geoglyphology that he has developed, Arthur Ferram. And shout out to the good Dr. Arthur Ferram and all of the works he's done. I have yet to get into the full book of his science for those that have been following it for a while, but he has come up with a ancient mapping civilized science and technology throughout all civilization that has been hidden and built into all of the pyramids of the world, including he goes into and in his books explains his mathematical system of geoglyphology in the Chinese pyramids, the Japanese pyramids, the Bosnian pyramids, the American pyramids and mounds, as well as the South American pyramids. But not only that, also the civilization of the Star Fort builders and the Star Fort citadel cities and Star Fort city, old world cities, architecture and building and societies and high world order, essentially. And as a pretext for those that are not familiar with all of the work I've shown of Arthur Ferrum and the Ferrum Foundation, this is the main page with the link included both in the description of the videos and now also being posted in the live chat for everybody in all the channels here. And what I've gone into and how I got to discover the Ferrum Foundation's work is because of the Medicine Hat Badland Guardians that are out by me. And we've talked about this a little bit before, Paul. And I'm going to be doing a live YouTube meetup exploration boots on the ground of this site here in early May. Because, well, this is southern Alberta, Canada, but it's still Canada, which is northern the heck out in, well, it's 3 feet of snow outside and freezing still. So once that all melts, we're going to come out of our cozy caves here and our igloos in Canada and have some, hopefully some fellow YouTube family up from the US border and come across because it's right close and go explore the valleys here that contain these Medicine Hat Badland Guardians, this being the main one with the main feature, which also is the logo or my profile picture for my Crypto Alchemist YouTube channel is this guy, and that it is depicting still to this day the Western Plains indigenous tribal native warrior like features and face, and that it also includes to the top left that is both like a feather plume coming off in their traditional style, but also a double feature of a ancient Olmec face depicted as well within it. And also what seems to be on the very top are almost a crown with the in the overall feature of the plume, feathered plume, and it being a crown on the warrior, or on a smaller third feature, it looks more like a Slavic or a Viking figured face as well on there. And that one of the main things we're going to verify here are these, you can kind of see these lines going through the valley, and that those are what Arthur Ferrum has discovered to be these specific earthworks of the megalithic era, and that these earthenworks, when you measure their exact length and their exact angle, geometry from the equator and due north, when you plot out onto the maps, the world maps, that you get these geoglyphs, and that these geoglyph radials actually plot out to every single specific geographical and locational ancient sacred civilization and location including those of the lost mega civilization of the pyramid builders pre-cataclysm, like before the Younger Dryas, before the that it would have existed in the time of what they call the last ice age, pre 12,000 years ago, which is also the same time period that Plato 3,000 years ago stated existed, of Atlantis 9,000 years before his time, exactly 12,000 years ago, which we now know the Younger Dryas catastrophe, thanks to the works of like Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson and that whole community bringing it forward, that the ice sheets or whatever happened, and that it goes back to the great debate that even Einstein cited on catastrophism being the cause and more likely events of how the world actually worked and functioned, and that whatever shift happened, it was some catastrophic mega shift disaster where the oceans literally rose 400 feet within a matter of only a couple of years, and what seems to have been the flood, or mega flood, tsunami, inundation that left the mud flood remnants and wiped out the mega civilization that was both known as Atlantis and the pyramid building civilizations. And that, so right here, this picture is the very tip of the Olmec face, or so this is in the valley right here. Oh, 3 and 2. Sorry. So that the location 3 and 2 of the geoglyph earthenworks. And so that these numbered sites 3, 2, 4, and 5, that will be the first objective of verifying in our May meetup and exploration of this research site. And that once we are able to verify and measure and mark, wrong way, these radials, these earthenworks, and that those precise lines are there, and that they plot out to these geoglyphology that is the Arthur Ferrum Foundation's discovery and works, that they literally plot out to Hawaii, tip of Western Ireland, Ferrum Tower, Matlin, Canada, southern tip of Cape Cod, Matalakutui volcano, Mexico City. So like right next to always forget the name right when you're live. Whatever the mega pyramids in Mexico City. Not Chichen Itza. It'll come to me. The pyramids of Mexico City themselves. 420 alert. See, right as my short-term memory failed me, 420 alarm happened. That is what we call meant to be. So, back to my rambling before I forget what the hell I was talking about. So, radial 249-degree Hawaiian Islands. So, from one of these lines, the length of the line and the angle of it in Medicine Hat, Alberta, right close to me, directly measures out to the Hawaiian Islands. Another one of those lines directly measures out to the tip of, is that Cape Cod? No, Baja, California, Mexico. Sorry, that Cape Cod is right there in Canada. I'm retarded. Anywho, as well as the Mexico City pyramids, volcano on the other side of Mexico City, and the Hawaiian Islands. All right, check out the chat. Did anybody... Teotihuacan? Yes, sorry, I cannot pronounce that, but Thank you, J Dreamers.
Tiwanaku.
Yeah, Tiwanaku. There we go. Yes. Shout out Luke and Campbell, and
big
yeah,
up,
if you
guys.
guys want to
I
join, I can post the link for either Luke and Campbell. I can send you the links if you want to come on. As I kind of cheating on Campbell by coming on without him, but playing his intro. But
Having an affair, right?
Right, but see, Luke was loyal. Well, Luke, I'm doing Luke's pyramids without him. Let's see. Do I actually? They're supposed to be in here. Did it actually load? Can I be cheating on Luke too? That one, no. Oh, hold on. Technically, I don't know. I was also going to go over the pyramids that Luke has discovered, bring them up and give you a shout out, but you might as well come on and talk about it a little bit yourself. Maybe, who knows? But you go into detail about your blueprint and this red sandstone layer that you find all throughout the UK, Malta, and everywhere you've looked of this geopolymer, and that I believe the ancient pyramid civilization, there, what could have been the temple or the head of Atlantis, I don't know. The Atlantis head was everywhere, and I guess if there was an actual circular city that was it, shout out to Jimmy there and the Eye of the Sahara or whatnot. That would probably be it. But the grand city of everything, and there's even a temple called the Solomon's Temple in the Grand Canyon Grand Pyramid complex here. And you can see the ones we are allowed to see is Cheops Pyramid next to Isis Temple, next to Shiva Temple. And these are the literal names of each of these ancient leftover mega structures that it looks like would have, looking for the picture, did it load? No, not what. Sorry, that they would have dammed the Colorado River, and that these entire pyramid structures would have been a lake city, and only the top red sandstone part would be in above water, and the rest would have been like a Venice or your Star Citadel city, canals everywhere on a grand pyramid lake civilization. And sorry, the one picture I'm looking for didn't load, but I'll bring it up in a minute, that actually shows what is called the White Wall of Sandstone, and it is a literal wall, eroded wall of, I think, 100 or 200 foot tall, of this white sandstone, that we see the same white sandstone at the very top of the Isis temple, and that seems to be
is it man-made? Is that wall man-made, that 100-foot one?
That's what I'm saying. I believe so, that it's an entire layer, and that it's the same layer as you see on top of the Isis temple here, the white figured eroded head or structure that was the capstone. And so in the older photos of Isis temple,
there's even a cave there, mate.
That is the main entrance cave of Isis temple, and that it is in all of the old original photos, but that the U.S. Military or government literally went in, closed off they came up with the excuse of like some plane crash or something in the 60s. And ever since the original Kincaid discovery in the Smithsonian and the US government, they literally were closing it all off, taking everything out and locking it up. They built a wall. So the new pictures of Isis Temple, you can see they've covered it up. And that they haven't even done it right, because the top half they have white and the bottom half they have red, and it's still indentated a bit. And that, sorry, where's some more of it? Yeah, right here you can see it still shadows in. Where? Yeah, then here we go.
So
this was the one I was looking for. So this is. So right here, you can see that it's still got the indentation, and that instead of it being all red, they have like white concrete that with that red that they filled it in with. And that for some reason, they decided it was of such importance to literally go in and cover up those caves that it no longer is visible in it. Here we go. There we go. Beautiful. This was the picture I was looking for. And it literally says, oh my God, I can't read it. But it should say white sandstone or sandstone or limestone or something, dam or something. But you can see this one, Butte Fault. Sorry, Butte Fault. And yeah, I guess the limestone, sorry, not sandstone there. So why is there a coral sheet of limestone next to all of this supposed red sandstone? Doesn't make sense. Like, where did this supposed coral reef come from? Yeah, no, that's man-built. And that they had these dams, and there's all throughout Utah and throughout the Grand Canyon, throughout Nevada, throughout like everywhere there, throughout this ruined civilization, they have all of these walls. And they're just like, oh, no, those are natural. And it's like, no, those were the dams that were literally damming up and holding the water within these star pyramid cities and civilizations. And that once the dams broke, and you can see even this top layer of red sandstone, or what they're saying is the red sandstone. I believe all of this is geopolymer, and this is all mega built. And that the red that it was a massive big dam all the way up, and that if something happened and it all blew up, eroded away, and now there's the mega lakes emptied, and the civilization dried up and was no more. And through this entire cave or pyramid system, you are not allowed to fly drones. You are not allowed to go in and enter or backpack or fly into or over, and only, I believe, something like 300 hikers a year are allowed to book and go in with guided tours with a ranger accompanying them the entire time that you're in here, and that they only let you go through this Isis temple that they've covered up. Right here you can see they covered up that main cave entrance. Oh, look at that, they did load. I am cheating on Luke. And shout out Ancient Historia to continuing on. See, but I have to give due where due is, that this specific one could still be Giza with the two sphinxes, because on my channel, and I will do another episode together with Luke and you, Paul, and Campbell Autodidactic. That is the next Autodidactic Alchemist episode. Or maybe you'll be asleep, Paul. I'm sorry. We'll come back and do another one with you. We'll cover it a little bit tonight. But there's videos of the Giza Plateau, and I have covered it with Campbell before, of a second Sphinx and people sneaking off the main Giza pyramid path, bypassing security and going into the second rune sphinx that's more eroded but identical, and that it's hollow, like there's structures within it and caves under it and all locked off, and like the eroded big second head, and it seems approximate distance. But that said, all of that is not taking away from the 14-foot 100 and the face right here, these buried face structures that definitely this entire destroyed and covered up and dammed on the Giza River, that the Egyptians, I believe with the Soviets' help at that time in the 60s, completely covered all of this up. But me, Campbell, and Luke looked at it on Google Earth the other day, and I think Luke might have gone over it with you in the last one too, that there's a quarry where the biggest pyramids, the 1,400-foot one that Luke, his ancient historian, has gone in depth on, the biggest one that would have been is actually completely quarried out in its adjacent spot to the where the dam now is and the lake now is, and the below where the waterfalls would have been, and that it's literally the biggest, one of their bigger quarries that they claim is the old dynasty quarries, but clearly actually it was very recently quarried, and that they took down that massive world's biggest pyramid and destroyed it and used it to build Cairo and like the rest of New Egypt and whatnot. And this right here, I first learned about, shout out to, oh my goodness, Jim Wills, there we go. And this is in South America, in other runes that are more far up in the Andes Mountains, that I believe it's around, like in between the desert area and Lake Titicaca through, so kind of arid but still semi tropical-ish, I guess, within it. But that these are giant terraced, what they called them, wheat granaries, but you can see next to them the actual terraced into the mountains structures, and it's just like in Peru, the main mountain city there, and the massive terraces that are throughout Machu Picchu, but that there's the entire mountains and mountain valleys are completely terraced out, and that something used to live within them. So it's more evidence of these pyramid civilizations, lost mega ruins, mega civilizations. These are some petroglyphs that are in Nevada in a site called Pyramid Lake. And
wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the Sphinx from Pyramid Lake, but I don't think it loaded. Okay, it'll be in the file. I'll get it in a second. Because before we discussed that there's many different Sphinxes that they... Oh, here it is. There's the... this is a really bad angle of it, but this is called the Sphinx of Pyramid Lake, and that there was also a hollowed out ball next to it, and then there's an actual pyramid somewhere in Pyramid Lake too.
Yeah, that was definitely Geopolymer, that.
Right? Oh, 100%. And I'm saying all of this civilization was.
Yeah.
And so this is Teotihuanacu. Back to Teotihuanacu in Mexico City, that this would have also been that mega pyramid civilization. And the story that the Spanish, when they came over, that these were covered in layers of gold and mica, and that the Spanish ripped all of that off and stole it, and that those are literal layers of semiconductors and insulators and electrical superconductive electrical materials. It's ridiculous. Back to the first Bosnian pyramids, see, we thought they were all mountains, and that we've been told that they're just mountains and natural structures, and don't worry about it. And that, in fact, every single place in the world, including China, including South America, like these ones here throughout Guatemala, Honduras, Ecuador, you can see the trees still growing up on them. And that the governments have actually gone in and removed the forest from part of it and deforested it just to start studying it and get back to it. And that literally, no matter where you go in the world, there's this pre-cataclysm mega civilization with remnants everywhere. And that built into the ruins of them. This is another one from yeah, that's another one in South America or Central America, I believe. And then Chichen Itza. And I've actually been lucky enough, honest to God, and this was before, like, just destiny and, like, the way that the world works and stuff. I've always been into, like, fascinated with pyramids and, like, originally megaliths and stuff like that. But not as much the solar cycles and appreciating the equinoxes and the actual astrological alignments and energies and powers within it. But I was still smart enough to know it, and that I've been down to Chichen Itza, and that we actually got to experience it on December 21st, I believe, on the winter solstice, and that I actually got to see the dragon shadow thing go off, and like it was an experience of a lifetime. And that they also, when you like stand in the middle and you clap, and it freaking like shoots this sound wave like off of the pyramid and like back at you. It's like, it's so nuts. Like, just how you design that sort of acoustic geometry, and like that's where we're going to have to do the first Science of Sound meetup. Policy, I'm sorry. The first one is going to have to be in Mexico at Chichen Itza here on like one of the solstices, and Ominous will beatbox here first, and then the second one will be in Malta, and we'll do the solstice in Malta, and we'll have to do the equinox, or sorry, I got that backwards. Equinox in Malta, solstice in Mexico.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
And so here's another angle of this might be a different temple than the Isis temple, the Shiva temple, I think this one is, and then going in between. And once again, you've got this 90-degree curved angle going out, and then you have a perfect 90-degree from that curved
half semicircle
into a flat wall. Yeah, you have a semicircle into that cave, into a flat wall, into a 90-degree flat wall, and then back 90 degrees into the same structure again on the other side of it. And that this giant cave entrance, and that cave entrance, they literally went in and covered it up, and never officially documented doing it or why it was done. And shout out to the Egyptian hieroglyphs in Australia. That's an image of some of those. And this is, I don't know why this one was circled. I think because there was caves or something in it, but just more along that one border system. And that outside the Grand Canyon, you just have these straight plains that go on like back into the rest of civilization and the terrain. And then there's just this whole gap that is this massive supposed red sandstone, but just macro terraformed ancient pyramid mega civilization. And that, see, this is as close as you could get picture in from the top of where you're allowed to be, and that they allow you to hike in from here with a guide, and then you're allowed to hike under that around the valley, around that Isis temple, and then back up here, and you have to have the guide with you at all times. And that's all of this entire valley, when in fact there's over 50 pyramid temple structures in this city system. And that like this is another angle of actually, no, I don't think that is Isis temple. I think that might be the Shiva temple. And once again, you have these straight geometries of 90-degree angles, semicircles, and on top these mounds, or these step pyramids structures. And at the bottom, you have these different cave system, tunnel system entrances, and what they call white limestone and red sandstone that are this geopolymer system. And the doozy that I'm trying to find. So once again, these dams and these walls that they call buttes and faults everywhere, literally they're from the mega flood or catastrophe that destroyed them, that Randall Carlson goes so much into talking about. And this is the icing on the cake, the topographical map of the Grand Canyon, where the lowest point is the Colorado River, the blue line going through, snaking through it, that supposedly eroded all of this natural structures, or this supposed natural system all on its own over millions of years, that just magically somehow also aligned to the sky, as above so below, that somehow each peak, each top of what they've called a temple, or the Tower of Set, the pyramid, or the structure that is called the Tower of Set, an ancient Egyptian god, is aligned to Betelgeuse, the star Betelgeuse. So the tallest point, the tip of the Tower of Set structure in there, is Betelgeuse star. You have the Tower of Ra aligning. Sorry, it is. Oh, can I make it large? There we go. I can read it a little bit more. No. Okay, so Bellatrix is Isis temple. So the same distance from the Tower of Set star in proportion to Bellatrix star in the Orion constellation. That same proportion equals the Tower of Set distance and the Isis temple distant peaks. And then you go down to the star of Minetaka, and it is the same as the peak of the Cheops pyramid. So the pinnacle of the highest point of what is called Cheops pyramid aligns to the same proportions as these 4 stars, 5 stars, 6 stars, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Over 25 stars, no, 30, another 5 up in this corner, another 4 down there. So 40 stars in the sky that make up the entire star sky of some of the brightest stars, being Betelgeuse and Bellatrix, and the most well-known Big Dipper. Those are part of the Big Dipper, and or not, is Orion? Sorry, no, I'm stoned. Anywho, Orion. Sorry, the Orion constellation. You have 40 stars in perfect ratio location as each of the peaks that make up the entire Grand Canyon pyramid system that is this Isis temple. So that figure, the white figure on top. So somehow they're saying that that's also white limestone. So how did that layer that is the top, that is their eroded capstones or whatever the heck it is, this limestone, then have all of this red sandstone in between it to then have that one same layer of white limestone again at the very base where the Colorado River now is. Sorry, trying to find a good picture to give it reference. So yeah, you can see the white. So limestone being supposedly made from coral, right? Like leftover pressurized coral, and then red sandstone being made from erosion, and like it just doesn't make sense. How is there two oceans on top and below?
Yeah, but I've seen this a lot everywhere, mate. I've seen this everywhere. I've seen it especially underground in Liverpool, where it's red sandstone, and then it goes to white sandstone or yellow sandstone. That's regular. And in Nottingham as well, mate. Underground, in layers. In layers, mate.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like their official story, it's impossible. How did that happen? It doesn't make sense.
It's meant to be sedimentary rocks. So the red,
yeah, exactly. Here's the one I'm looking for. Here it is, right? So at the very base, again, there is where the water level, it's all this white limestone once again. And at the very top is the white limestone that supposedly those are both metamorphic rock. Limestone is supposed to be metamorphic, where it's coral that's then gone down, had a bit of heat and pressure put to it, and then rises back up. And then sandstone is sedimentary, that's made just from like erosion, water drying, a little bit of pressure.
Sedimentation. Yeah. There's a process.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not doing sedimentation much justice, but just like it's impossible that they exist between each other in those proportions, and then at those same layers, and that every time it magically is where all of these tunnels, these mines, these cities, these mega structure, it's your blueprint, right? It's crazy. Well, and there's much more to your blueprints. I was saying it matches, and this is all they let you see. So on Leak Project with Rex Bear, I've gone over, and I think with Campbell a bit too in the past a lot, a bigger map of that has the names of all of the temples and the different pyramids and structures, and that at each of these, the Orion one again, but that there's 40 or 50 of these temples within this area and within this lost ruined civilization. And so that all the sand and dirt, that's all the erosion that has happened and remnants from the cataclysm, and at least the last supposed, whatever they say, 12,000 years or whatever it was since the time of Atlantis and the original pyramid civilization and back, right? And then ever since then, it's just decayed, and that, you can still find spots like that, or they cover up the main entrances so that when people go looking hearing from Kincaid's find in one of the original ones, that, the main entrance into Shiva or Isis temple, no, you can't find that. And ISIS is bad, let's create a terrorist company about it, and then make it the only one you can see out of the 50 of these. That why can't I find the freaking overhead again? Stupid. Sorry. They're just without the constellation topographical map. It just doesn't do it justice. And that literally every single one of them has a here we go. The sacred names from, these are just a few of them. Cheops Pyramid, Isis Temple, Tower of Set, Tower of Ra, Osiris Temple, Horus Temple, Sumer Butte, and okay, that's all the ones that are labeled. There's also the Jupiter's Temple, Saturn's Temple, Atlas Temple. There's also Solomon's Temple. Literally, Solomon's Temple exists within here, a place called Solomon's Temple, and that another reason that the Grand Canyon is supposedly closed off because national monuments, or no, national park, but really national monuments and lost mega civilization, that there's massive gold mines and gold veins and gold, natural gold, throughout the Grand Canyon areas, and that it was documented in the 1800s in depth, and ancient native gold mines. And also, yes, I believe some of it, the gold mines are still maybe of native, because they are labeled as indigenous mines dating back thousands of years within these areas. But so there's history of indigenous gold mines into the beginnings of time in here, and then also a place called Solomon's Temple, and that you're told of Solomon's mines and all of these mines going back that produced all of this gold. And that I believe this also ties into the mega stream episode. Shout out to our brother Old World Florida, Dr. Longo there. Last night, the 5-hour Greek Florida video he did, and all the evidence of the ancient Greeks, and that there's stories of getting gold and silver and copper from what could only be America. All right, now to tie it all back together, the Ferrum Foundation, the geoglyphs, the radials, and what we're doing in May, probably towards mid-May or end of May, to verify these, where I've got a digital drone. See, I haven't even had time, or I guess the money, to, because gas is so bloody expensive too. So if anyone, got to do some fundraising, but I've got a DJI Mini 2 drone that I'm going to be taking out to this site when we do the May meetup, but that I've been meaning to take out. And I also have to take out to Mount Yamaniska, that is just outside of world famous Banff National Park, Lake Louise, and then there's Canmore right before it. And then this entrance area is indigenous reserve land. And Mount Yamaniska, I've hiked up a couple times, and on the back side of the opposing mountain, cliff face mountain of the start of this mountain valley range, there's these two mega guardians that are about 300, 400 feet tall that you can see. And from the top of Mount Yamaniska at the certain sun angle every night, and I like seen it a couple times. I've actually got pictures I'm gonna upload of it. Like the faces come on them and everything. It's so cool. And like you can fully see the like badass guardians. And that then there's like behind them, there's like a couple more that look like they're about 50 feet tall or something like that, and a couple grouped of them, and this carved out staircase going up this rock face, and then it's carved out, chiseled into this cliff face that's like goes up like probably 200, 300 feet up this cliff into the mountain cliff wall, and then goes for about another like 100 or 200 feet out each way, chiseled out walkway from that leads up to it, and then behind it just like caves going in. And I actually have pictures from the valley vantage point of Mount Yamaniska, looking back at this site, and what I took pictures of that looked like the Viking runes and a couple ancient petroglyph writings and such. Very fascinating stuff. So I'm going to be doing that this spring as well. And also, just like I believe Grand Canyon is a mega pyramid spot, all Badlands really are. And there's the Drumheller Badlands in Alberta as well, right near me, that I will be going to. And honest to God, Paul, every time I tell the story, I get the shivers because I experienced it. And when you experience it, you get the fucking shivers. And it's when you're prey. And in this freaking valley, my buddy is like out there, he lives there with his family and stuff. It was 3:30 in the morning. I was out back for a smoke, and a fucking, it was called, I don't think it was a thunderbird. I think it was like a fucking petrodactyl, pterodactyl, whatever the fuck you call it, dactyl, dinosaur bird thing that flew above me. It was so loud, like how fast and big it was. And I had my laser pointer that I actually pegged it with, so I got to the ratio, seeing how high up it was, and that was blocking out the moon very quickly as it flew over. The shadow it cast, just how and then as soon as I hit it with the laser, it dived down. People believe me or they don't, but my girlfriend Amber, she will ask her how shook I was when I came back out and called them out to see, but it was gone. But anywho,
how big do you think it was?
It was probably the size of a bus, like a bus, length.
Oh, flipping hell, mate!
Yeah, it was fucking huge. And this place is that's Drumheller, Alberta Badlands are world famous for the Drumheller Tyrrell Museum, Royal Tyrrell Museum, which is dinosaurs bones that they are dragons, dinosaurs, giant reptiles that they've actually, I've gone there in these Badlands myself and picked out many fossils, and they've got some of the biggest discoveries of fossilized dinosaurs in the world are from Drumheller, Alberta, and are in this museum there, and that continuing going on excavations there. And that I've been out there, and there's old mining shafts everywhere too. Amber loves telling the story of her walking down the river and a yellow canary flew out, and in cold ass Canada they don't really survive, and you never see them. And it's that it was brought over a canary in a coal mine, and that there was a bridge to this old coal mine, and they're literally everywhere in these Badlands. And to top it off, what I'm going to show and bring out to the world is that, unbeknownst to the population of Drumheller, they literally, I'd say every fourth property has a mound in its backyard, and the mounds seem to all magically be cardinally pointed to the cardinal points, and they have a very flat top, and that they look identical to the mounds, aka pyramids, of all of the Midwest US, and that they're literally built in alternating layers. Of every third layer is a foot of charcoal, which is impossible by the geological layering of the KT boundary. You're just supposed to have a little bit and a couple other burns here and there, but not identical 1 foot alternating layers every third. And then it's red sand and yellow sand in between that black layer of these pyramids that are literally in every third person's backyard, and of a valley full of dinosaur, aka dragons. And so that is the Alberta Drumheller Badlands, and what you're looking at right now is the Medicine Hat Badlands. So another lost ancient civilization. So this was the one I was looking for before, of the geoglyphs on top of the guy's head. So you can kind of see here a little bit what kind of looks like an orcish guy with a little crown or a horn or something on the left top. I kind of see it, or maybe Neanderthal. And then on the right, this big brow Olmec looking guy on the looking to the right side on there. And sorry, that's the top half of this guy's native crown plume. And whether those figures are there or not, the more important part is that there's the geoglyphs, site 4 on top of there, and that we're going to verify that those are there. Oh, sorry. And then this is one more of the figures. This is the Mayan featherhead serpent headdress guy, and he's another face within the Medicine Hat Badlands, and what some believe to be maybe an Asian or elongated skull guy, old man to the right of the road, the other side of it, but definitely this featherhead serpent one. And I don't have the picture today, but there's one out there that's a larger section of this whole valley, and that there could be up to 20 different types of faces into the different sides amongst it. And we're going to measure these geoglyphs, verify them. They plot out. So just one more time: Hawaiian Islands, Baja California, Mexico City, so Teotihuacan pretty much, and the tip of Ireland as well. And then, so this is Geoglyphs 3, so another portion of geoglyphs in that same little valley. And those radials, one goes to Cairo, Egypt, another one. So now you've got 2 of the biggest pyramid cities of the old world, being the Cairo pyramids and Mexico City pyramids. It goes to southern tip of Britannia, France, southern tip of Ireland, tip of Cape Romania, USA, South Carolina, USA, Charleston Bay, South Carolina, Iztaccíhuatl volcano, Mexico City, again in Mexico City, once again, Baja California tip, and west entrance of the Beaufort Sea off the Bering Strait there. So yeah, Cairo, Egypt, Mexico City mentioned. So these ancient, very ancient old sites. And yeah, these specific lines that are earthworks about a foot or 2 high, built in to these massive figures that can only be seen from the sky, these faces, just like the Nazca lines. And it's essentially the northern replica of those same civilization that was in the south that made the Nazca lines and pyramids in all of Peru. So the 4th radials, the 4th section of the Medicine Hat Badland radials, plots out to north tip of Greenland, southern tip of Cornwall, southern Canary Islands, junction of Ottawa River and St. Lawrence Seaway, Canada, beginning of route to central North America. Entrance to the river at Portsmouth, New Hampshire, USA. Fareham Tower, Maitland, Canada. So he's found a new tower that was built, I believe, it might be in Ontario, or it might be in the Maritimes, like Eastern Atlantic Canada. But there's this new tower that's just a dinky little structure, but that he found it because these old radials, so these old Medicine Hat Badland geoglyphs right here, one of these lines built into here, one of the earthenworks built into this guy's headdress faces, pointed out to a exact spot of a brand new built colonial tower, and that then he went and applied his geoglyphology to the building of the Ferram Tower, and that's a whole nother article all in itself of the work he did of deciphering the angles in that architecture, and it literally being a new colonial era map of the splitting up of the Spanish and English and the French territories after they came over and reconquered the Americas, or conquered the Americas, I should say, not reconquered, conquered for the first time. And
Conquer.
Sorry?
BurnEye Conquer.
Yeah. So you got any questions?
Nah, mate, I've just had a proper history lesson, mate. A real history lesson.
So these are some of the mounds of the Midwest US and these mega pyramid structures that shout out Graham Hancock in the awesome episode he did on Netflix that goes into like just the astrological alignments of all of these and stuff. And that so they were built by a very intelligent, so essentially the same culture that was building these were probably also building these, or maybe these ones came after. So no, these builders would have been after the cataclysm of the technologically advanced prior what's known as Atlantean and Lemurian before that civilizations. And then after the cataclysm, then this was the best that we could do, but we were still building to the stars and building to the sun cycles and all of the solar cycles. So very like advanced knowledge of physics and astronomy and timekeeping, as well as proportions of being able to build these. And who knows, maybe this could have been that same civilization too, and it's just covered and it needs to be dug out, and you'll find this when you dig it out. I could be wrong, actually. Who knows? Because I haven't actually looked into when the solar alignments are, and they probably are where mainstream history only dates these at 1500. They're more likely at least 7500, and more likely before that. I would guess they probably would be dug out and be more something like this and are pre-cataclysm and go into the 12,000s or the 30,000s, going back Atlantis and Lemuria, like these sort of things. And then so these heads have shadows that move on them on the solstice. I got to witness that at Chichen Itza. It was pretty epic.
Wow.
And
fascinating.
So this Teotihuanacu is a rabbit hole all on its own, and how its proportions and alignments line up to actually like the different planets and and our moon and the sun and whatnot. It's like the perfect relations that they have. So it's like the fact that Teotihuanacu is called City of the Gods, and it was to the heavens that the pyramids were aligned. As I guess so were the pyramids of that we were looking at the Grand Canyon complex. So those are the heavenly cities where now they align instead to land masses on Earth, like the same as these geoglyphs. So now that I've explained how geoglyphs work and that they're measured in these lines and the angles and that geoglyphology system, which I will have the exact numbers and calculations and formula for it as I get into this book, explaining it, that we will be verifying that these lines are here, that they actually plot out to all these precise ancient spots. And in fact, it pretty much verifies when civilizations were active and when they were inactive or wiped out, because they would stop appearing in the new location spots. And so here is Ferram Tower, Matland, Canada. And he goes into, when I laid out geoglyphology, I immediately knew that the linear geoglyphs were no older than the early 15th century. So this is the 15th century when they're coming back. They rebuilt this little shitty dinky thing. And then it also then plotted out the same as these mega structures, and that it happens to be at the exact same place that this ancient civilization would have had a city at the same times as the rest of pre-Atlantean, Tuvian. And sorry, so this right here is the entire territory mapped out by the geoglyphs of the Medicine Hat pyramids, and that you can see this is pretty much the same sort of territory that is NATO. Now that you look at it, or I look at it, pretty fascinating stuff. And it's especially when you take into account the geoglyphology of the Bosnian pyramids that I had told you before the stream, and I will talk about in a second. But this is another head-on satellite image of the location, because they're trying to hide it and make it apparent that it's not actually, when it's undeniable what this is. And they take it just like the face on Mars, and that you take it at the right angle of the alignments, the solar alignments, and that light, the shadow, boom, you've actually got an in-depth, intricate 3D face that you're looking at that is undeniable. And that they will try to get it at the worst possible angle and then fix the lightings and the different angles and shit like that to be like, it's pareidolia. And no, that is man-made or human-made structure. So you could see it from above, and they were, of the like flying above, probably in airships, or UFOs. Still, who knows? UAP. Yeah. So Geoglyph Site 5 on the road up to the oil derrick, and for those that didn't know, this guy right here, so the main figure, what has been called the earbud, this is racist, so I don't really, well, now it's deemed racist. It's not actually racist. It was called the earbud Indian, I guess. So I guess that is, sorry. But on YouTube, or not YouTube, on meme land, meme net, whatever the hell it is, the internet, when the discovery was first made, I think it was like Apple tried to promote it with a meme that it was like an Indian with an iPhone or something like that. I don't know. Anywho, it trended, the image trended, but that is in fact not earpieces to a stupid Apple iPod. That is a road to a destructive oil well. And that is what we need to get into when we do our future episode with Dutch Sense and the earthquakes, the oil, the star forts, and how they all connect. And to tie that all nicely together, we will we will quickly go back over the Bosnian pyramids and geoglyphs, and how star forts and bastion forts, in fact, also fit into this geoglyphology and the pyramid civilization. That said, we're an hour and 10 minutes in. Are you getting pretty tired? Was it 12 o'clock your time? Oh, we're already 15 minutes over. So should I do the Brucey bonus and end it on the main channels, and then just keep it live on the two backup channels? And then I can also add Campbell and Luke on, and we'll keep it live. Yeah. So do you want me? So we'll end it on your main channel in like 5 minutes or something, or like I'll do a closing video, and then I'll email the links to Mr. Luke and Campbell. And yeah, I see $10 up from Angel Wings sister. Thank you for the support, whether it went to me or Paul. Much love. Thank you. You donate much to the community, to all of us. It is appreciated. Oh, you have a meeting in 40 minutes. Oh, shit. Well, are we still doing ours later tonight, Campbell? And regardless, I promised I will be playing the Dutch Synth Starfort video on the backup channels in full, and I will stick with it, and I will let Paul go to sleep. And but if Luke, if you're still there and you're still up, I'll email it to you. Campbell, I don't know if you want to stream bomb us or not, so I can send you the link out to you, but let me know, and we will do the second Sphinx tonight and our regular stream once you're done. Oh yeah, should be good for the regular one. Perfect.
Big up, Nico. Big up.
Sorry, I have been presenting and ranting and talking the whole time, so I have not been able to pay attention to the live chat.
Mate, it's good. It's good to sit there and listen and take something new in. It's very good. I love it. I love
right?
New angle
Exactly.
Mate.
Exactly. And like I appreciate all that I've learned from you over and over, that it's like had to give back a little bit. Oh, and so before I end it on your main channel, I will go over the pyramid stuff, but you'll be welcome to log off if need be, and I can turn it off if you want, or stick around for like 10 more minutes, because the part about the old cities and the geoglyph, and they need to hear it. In the meantime, I will find a 5-minute short to play, because I need a bathroom smoke break, if that is all right.
Sweet.
Actually, sorry. I need 5 minutes.
4 jacks. Someone said, stick around, Paul. I'm knackered, mate. I'm absolutely shattered. I've been doing so much work today. It's unbelievable.
Right? It's taxing. It takes a lot out, man. Like,
well, I've done 14 hours today, mate.
Like, it's like there's so much. Like, now that I'm video editing, it's like, Campbell, I appreciate the amount that it takes. It's yes, like, we'll be doing more. I appreciate you and all you've done, and both of you guys do so much. So I'm gonna play a little. What am I thinking? Now is when I should start a little bit of the Dutch Synth Starfort video for 5 minutes. That's what I should be doing.
Yeah,
time for the Brewski bonus. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Okay. I will get the Brewski bonus going. So another trick is you open up Twitter, a Twitter browser, my friend, and then you search the YouTube video you want to play in Twitter, and then enter it in. And then Twitter, now, because of good old Elon, he doesn't like paying for not having to watch ads, but he doesn't like watching ads. So then he made it so everybody doesn't have to watch ads for free, even it's crazy, but there's no ads on YouTube videos on Twitter, yet on YouTube they make you watch ads.
Just having a laugh with some guys.
There we go.
Get some rest. And that's because I give so much information in this, Burn. It's made me knackered, mate. I'm cream crackered.
Right? Oh, I feel you, brother.
No, I really am. Like, my eyes look well red.
Man, you've had a long day. Like, yeah, like it hurts to have your eyes open, like after staring at screens for freaking 10 hours editing and shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's non-stop, man. It's like as soon as you wake up to you go to bed, basically, you just have bits of breaks in between.
Yeah. So for the Brucey bonus on the small channel, I'll be playing the full Dutch Sense video, but we'll be ending it on the main channel. But we'll give you 5 minutes Brucey bonus of it. Right. Meow. Before I end it and let Paul go to bed. Okay. Right, but so it's like if you ever want to like play a full YouTube video, like an hour long, and on stream and not have to worry about getting interrupted by ads every 2 minutes, you open the Twitter browser and then open it, and Twitter blocks the ads. It's freaking nuts. Shout out Brother Dutch Sense, and me and Paul will be doing an upcoming interview stream together with him, covering a lot of this stuff.
Wicked, man. Wicked.
Here, guys. And it's a French map, and it has north oriented this way.
How's
so
the sound?
See which way north is. This is the St. Louis riverfront, and this is the old St. Louis River.
Can you turn it up a little bit?
1796. Now, what they have, it says Premier Project there and Second
Hang on,
Project there.
Sorry, mate.
These are proposed sites for new forts up here on the plateau above St. Louis. And St. Louis riverfront, of course, right here. And then it comes up to the old city. And then they have it going up against it. This has all been scraped out and leveled.
Saying good sound in the chat.
So flattened and made into a nice rise. Got rid of this lake. Over here we have the River de Pere, and that flows down. That's still there. The River de Pere is, and you can see the old star fort structures they have built there. But what I want to draw your eye to is this here on the north side of St. Louis, and we're going to zoom in on it here just to show you what we're talking about. Make sure you can see it, because this right here is what looks like a bastion fort, but this is water around here, and you can tell it's water. They have bridges going across it, and this is a waterfall. You can see it's going down the plateau, and if you're from St. Louis, you know what I'm talking about it being way higher up here than it is down on the riverfront. Anyway, it goes down and it flows down into the Mississippi River. All right, why does this matter? This spot here, I can show it to you on Google Earth. Let's get St. Louis open here. Let's get us back north and turn on our borders and labels just so everybody can see where we're talking about here in Missouri, in St. Louis area. Okay, now this is all a preface to what I discovered that's just phenomenal. And if you're into archaeology, American history, Native American history, if you're in academia, your mind's going to be blown by what I found. I'm serious. I'm not joking. There's no exaggeration. So let's zoom in and show you. All right. So first of all, to preface it all, what I just showed you here on the map here with the waterfall that goes down. Now, this is a moat or something. It looks like, again, this is like water flowing out of this place and flows downhill down to the Mississippi. There's no doubt about it. It's flowing downhill from up here to down here. But I want to show you what's there currently. Here's St. Louis. And up here on the north side, they have the streets laid out in the shape of the old fort. And what's this in the middle? This is the new geospatial mapping agency the U.S. government's building for LiDAR mapping and mapping of stuff like that. Now, to seal the deal that this is what we're talking about, right up here at the tip of this fort is this, the old St. Louis water tower. There's actually two of them. There's that one, and then there's another one right, I don't know, it's like right here somewhere. Anyway, the two St. Louis water towers, X marks the spot, geospatial agency in the middle, and this is it. This is downtown St. Louis, by the way. And this thing's huge. And that's this, and it's pointing in the same direction. Again, we can turn Google to make it in the same direction that they have that map, and you'll see it is a match. Again, we're talking about this thing, and it flows out from there and down to the river. Now, guess what they have down here? Guess what is right over here. The water treatment facility. Sewage. They take the water in up here. They treat it down here. They started doing sewage where this thing flows out on this fresh water, obviously flowing out of this, flowing down back in 1796. All right. Now, I had to show that to you, show you that they're doing the geospatial agency in the middle of it. Confirmed. There is no doubt about that this spot matches with this spot in St. Louis. Let me turn it proper again. And they got an X in the middle of it, so it lets you know somebody. There's school right at the tip of there, and then the water tower is right at the very tip of it. Mapping agency in the middle. Streets are laid out in the shape of it. So what did I find? All right, you ready? So take a look at this. And remember this shape. Remember this shape in particular, which is the star fort shape, which we'll reference again in a few minutes, the Bastion fort shape and the star around it. And particular this, the two, it almost looks like a snake, right? North side of St. Louis. So I live 50 miles west of St. Louis, over here. See where it says Washington? Let me show you where I live. I've already been doxxed, so everybody already knows that I live right here at this lake. Okay, they built a dam right there. All right, now, let me show you what I found. You ready to have your mind blown? Let me turn off my borders and labels. I found another one. You have to turn it south to really see it. This is the Missouri River, not the Mississippi. The one here is on the Mississippi, north of St. Louis. The one I just found is here. Let me bring us back due north again. We're looking exactly due south. Here is west. Here's downtown St. Louis, the one I just showed you. And the one I just found here, 1, 2, and it goes in. There it is. Now, I know this for certain is something, for certain, because when we bring it back this way, this is looking like a Bastion Fort would down onto the river down below. This is all extremely high. These are huge foothills that go up 800 feet above sea level. And down here at the river, we're at 400 feet. These are 400 foot high. This is 1,400 feet across, just this channel. 1,400 feet all the way. This is 8 miles, and it goes uphill. This is all uphill. So this would have been flowing just like this. It would have been flowing out and down. Now, I know that somebody here has to know something because look what's right here in the middle of this. Right here in the middle, there's this pipeline that's going through, and it's a low resolution imagery, but it's water. 100% it's water. It's coming out from the top. Look, we're at the very height of this, and this is where the water, this is Missouri American water, pulling the water out of there, use it, resell it back to the public. Now, how do I know this is the highest point? Well, I can see it on my mouse moving it around, but also this is where they decided to build the microwave tower right at the pinnacle tip. The cell phone tower also built there, and the power lines going directly through the middle of it. That's no coincidence either, by the way. But anyway, this is indisputable the same shape, the same size, a little bit bigger actually. It's pointing in the direction of the river, and it flows down to the river. This is at 800 feet, elevation 800. Then we go over here. We go to 720, 712. We go down here where it's 678. We go down here where it's 635. Go down here where it's 551. Go down here to the river, we're at 486. Flowing out and down. But that would be phenomenal. Now notice it's weathered. It's extremely weathered. This was not built by the French or the Spanish, I don't think. Maybe the old Hopewell Indians had the same idea. Now, there's also something spanning off and going over this way. And it goes over to this triangular shape. So really, it's double pronged. One going to look like an arrow almost. Anyway, this one here is certain. I'm 100% certain on it. It matches with the interior 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided pentagonal shape and the 2 snaking paths, if you want to call that. We have 1, 2, and this is so weathered. Look on the backside. Look what they're doing. Somebody's quarrying the backside. And at the front tip, we have the microwave tower. And in the middle, right here. I mean, out of the middle, right along the road. Where is it? I just showed it to you. The pipeline right there. Oh, it's right here. So they're pulling the water out of there. Water coming out of the middle. It's in the same shape. It's right next to the other one. Now, finally, let me show you the final point on this that I just discovered doing my previous broadcast that didn't get recorded. We're going to measure from the one in St. Louis over to this one. So here it is. Again, one more time. Boom, boom. 1,400 feet across, 8 miles long, and it goes uphill to a spot where water used to flow. And it actually overlooks the Missouri River. But now we're going to measure from the middle of this, or from the tip of it, where that quarry is. We're going to measure over to the one in St. Louis. Look at this. This is super phenomenal. We're going to go to the middle of where they're building the Geospatial Agency, or should we go to the X, or should we go to the water tower? Whether we go to any one of them, we'll go to the middle of the Geospatial Agency, which is definitely in the middle of the old one that's there. Look. Well, first of all, let's measure it in miles. It's basically 40 miles, 39 point something miles to the edge. And then it's 40 miles exactly out to the, exactly down to the mile, guys, down to the point in feet. 211,000 feet, 211,191. In kilometers, 64 kilometers, but in miles, it's exactly 40 from the edge of one to the middle of the other. And if we go from the middle of the one to the middle of the other, we're at 39. And notice, it's almost perfectly due west. Now, I don't know if there's any more of these further to the west. If we were to go another 40 miles linear to the west, would we find another one? Let's go find out. But all I would like to say about this, no, there's not another one 40 miles to the west unless I'm missing it somehow. So when I see something like this, and it's indisputable, it's in the same shape as something from the map from 1796 in North St. Louis, and it's over here on the Missouri River that's far out of the distance of whatever this map shows. Again, we're far over to the west than another, I want to say, you go way beyond. We'd have to go 2 or 3 of these maps over to the west to get to this. Now, why is this significant? Well, first of all, it's huge. Second of all, it's advanced in many ways that the water would be flowing in a certain direction, going down, like I just showed you, going from a height of 800 feet down to 600, down to 500, down to 400, down to the river. Pure water flowing out, going down to the river. Power companies built something directly across the middle of it. There's a microwave tower on it and a quarry on the backside. That to me says somebody somewhere knows something. Maybe, maybe not, but certainly archaeological now. Okay, let's just say you think the French and Spanish built them.
Okay, so we're gonna let Paul go to rest here, but first I'm gonna post the links to Paul Cook 2 channel, as well as my BurnEye Minds, Third Eye, ScienceGuy, and Crypto Alchemist channels, and we will stay live on Paul Cook 2, as well as the BurnEye Minds, Third Eye, ScienceGuy channels. And since I'm taking over the stream and we're ending on Paul's main channel, but we will still be live on Paul Cook 2. Sorry, just finding the link for all of you lovely souls and awesome beings right now. And I guess you don't need to just stare at my face. Oh God, I hit the wrong one again. Oh Jesus. Oh, keep hitting the wrong one. Bert and Ernie, there you go. That's some of my experiments. On Paul's main channel, me, Campbell, and Paul have another episode together. We're showing how to make the monoatomic gold and silver, the colloidal silver episode, how to do your own. And that is some Ormus there, some monoatomics and diatomics behind Bert and Ernie and the cartoon homunculus going on there. But Point being, for those new to me, I do all sorts of crazy different live science and alchemy stuff. That's why I am called BurnEye, the mind's third eye science guy, not the fake Bill Nye whack job guy. I should probably stop saying that. Anywho, and I do such things as starting to test the Rife coils and all sorts of different coils, some of which I've made my own, like the standard Keshi Megrav coils, as well as all sorts of different other designs. But that the Rife coils here by Matthew Rife, Real Rife Technologies. I just got in. He graciously donated me the the Rife coil top system or something. But quite fascinating stuff where you go onto an app, you get the right Hertzian frequencies and solfeggio frequencies and tones, and that you then broadcast them through the coils and get yourself some actual real harmonic frequency exposure and field forces. So yeah, you load the app and then you put them through the coils. I was trying to get the demonstration together where you put a frequency through and it spins the magnet all crazy for you guys, but there's not enough time. I will let Paul go to bed. You can see all of it on my channel in the lives in previous episodes, very recent ones, and I will do the rest of the pyramid segment on Paul Cook 2 channel and my channels, but we will be ending right away here, and I will also play the rest of the full Dutch synths. But for those quickly, before I end it on the main Paul channel, the geoglyph system, his radials and his mathematics, the same system applies to the measurements of pretty much all the pyramids of the world, especially the mega ones, the macro ones, such as the Bosnian pyramids right here, Pyramid of the Sun, and that you take the lengths of the sides and their angle and plot them out against the equator cardinal points, and they also apply to very ancient, accurate civilization points, sacred sites, or mass pyramid structures, civilizations, and geographic locations. He is also showing that there's some missing location that from one of the radials of the Bosnian pyramids that he believes to be in between 36,000 for the Pyramid of the Sun. So that'd be all the way into probable Lemurian time civilization, to the Pyramid of the Moon being 22,000 years, and the Pyramid of the Dragon or something being a little bit younger than that too. And he gets the dates from where and when other locations, radials, start mentioning the sites and stop mentioning them in newer and the newest archaeological and civilization sites. So that this pre-civilization or pre-catastrophe macro pyramid building civilization was a global civilization. They looks like they mastered from above as well, air travel of some sorts, and that they built all of their pyramids at specific locations to be able to then map out all the other locations within their territories and sites. And point being that before the cataclysm, there was either an island or some sort of civilization in this area of Central America that is now appears as a massive gouge and devastation and sunken in sort of thing that who knows what happened, but probably something there during the mass floods, tsunamis, and global destruction. Anywho, it also maps out so the sides of the pyramid of the sun and the pyramid of the moon. Oh, sorry. These are the three sides that he has, and then the 4 cardinal point directions and lengths, I believe, also when added in, get to Gotland Island. Yeah, after adding the 4 cardinal points of the compass, directions of the lengths of it, I guess, it also adds the southern border of Russia, even today. Like it's crazy. North Gotland Island, north tip of British Islands or Ireland there, and Tunisia, and Bay of Nazarenes, I believe. Portugal is that. Luxor, Egypt, and Cape Town, South Africa, site of many geoglyphs. In the literal walls and sides, lengths and direction angles of the Bosnian pyramids, and that so stage 2 building of pyramids of moon and earth. Cool, just checking that I had everything was appearing correctly. Stage 2, so he believes 95,000 BC, so that the final smallest little pyramid at the Bosnian pyramids is 11,500, so that's right around the time of the cataclysm, so either right before or right after that it happened. They built this one, and another one that was damaged by a mudslide, so he can't get the last angle, but all of the other ones on it. They add in to Cornwall, England, Lewis Island, or sorry, that was already there. Tip of Portugal now, down here, as well as the Bay of Nazarenes. North tip of Africa. Border marker, the current border marker of Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. Jutland, Denmark, Gotland Island, Jerusalem as well, and then not only that with the angles of the sides and corners of the pyramids there and their lengths and degrees, but also another major feature of the Bosnian pyramids is that the pinnacle points of them, the 3 of them, is an equilateral triangle, and that with this equilateral triangle, its lengths and angles of the centers, sorry, coming out of it also perfectly plot out to 3 additional sites, being the beach on France there, I believe, probably a major French port city, the Pillars of Hercules, as well as Kaliningrad, Russia, up in the Baltic, the little enclave of Russian territory that currently has been, as part of the geopolitical turmoil and the EU and the 3 little Baltic NATO statelets there trying to block transportation of Russia's people and goods from the main Russian mainland to the enclave of Kaliningrad that is also Russian territory there on the Black Sea. Anywho, that's a discussion for another time. The point being that these same historical borders and places of civilizations that existed in prior like timeline, prior grand civilizations exist today in the exact same places, and that the instability and I get hostility. I don't know. The crisis is turbulence is in the exact same regions and same territories and same borders today at the pinnacle of our current timeline and civilization, which it's insane. And if you've seen my episode on the Yanaguni pyramids and geoglyphology with the Ferrum, it's also on the Ferrum website, which is in the links of this description of the video. Check out the Yanaguni, just so you can see this is the main Ferrum website link there. Go to the Yanaguni one. Too late now, showing you. So Yanaguni, Japan's famous sunken pyramid that's under 400 feet of water, thus had to be pre-cataclysm. That's its layout of topographical walls and structure of the Yanaguni. When Ferrum applies his same geoglyphology science equations to it, sure enough, it gives you these exact same radials that just happen to plot out to northern tip of New Caledonia, south coast of Papua New Guinea, west tip of Zimbabwe Island, south coast of Java, northeast corner of Korean Peninsula, west side of Korea, Hawaiian Island, Attu Island, Alaska, southern tip of Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia, northern tip of Japanese Island String, northern tip of New Caledonia, south coast of Papua New Guinea, west tip of Sumbawa Island, south coast of Java, the southern island of Sumatra, Banda Aceh, northern tip of Sumatra Island, the lost geoglyphs of Fungubin, Taiwan, southern tip of Burma. See, like these lost geoglyphs, he's literally found a bunch of like pre-cataclysm civilization ruined sites, most of them underwater, just from the calculations of his geoglyphology at these sites that he's applied it to, and has literally discovered tens, if not hundreds, of new past mega civilization ruins, as well as verifying all of these locations' authenticity, putting to rest any debunking of them, and finally giving a decent or reasonable measurement of like time eras of when civilizations existed, or places where inhabited existed, and when they were wiped out, by comparing them to all the others and them ongoing. Point being, even Japan's famous underwater pyramid is built exactly to the requirements of the geoglyphs, giving the radials that point out to all of these exact island locations and country locations and pyramid locations. That gives you also the exact same territory that Japan occupied, the Japanese Empire occupied at the height of World War II and the height of the Japanese Empire. Literally the exact same territory. The Japanese were either fully occupying or attacking, like Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, but like it's mind-blowing. Like it's the exact same territory. So yes, I'm not going to go further into it. You can do that on your own, and that's literally, whether it's the Bosnian pyramids, geoglyphology applies, whether it is the Medicine Hat Badland Guardians, which we are going to be doing the YouTube meetup in May. Anybody that wants to be a part of it, we're going to do a full 3-day long weekend of May in Medicine Hat. We're probably going to book up a motel together, something like that, while also offering potential camping. If you want to risk camping here on your own, I don't know if we're legally allowed to camp there overnight, but for those that want to, probably can. But we'll be setting up day camps, exploring this each of the days, and then staying in the motels at night. And for those who want to camp, camp. If not there, probably we'll find another place close by if it is not legal. Anywho, also Yanaguni, all that Japanese. Oh, and like Indonesian pyramids. He goes into that, shows that the Indonesian pyramids are also legit pyramids, also have this exact same geoglyphology science, also plot out to such places as the Giza pyramids, that they mark out to all the ancient sites. Oh, so here's another one that's in that underwater destruction zone in Central America. That's included into one of the radials of the Giza pyramid. So, right, that's obviously pre-cataclysm, and that's what I find interesting, is that some of the these are such specific points to specific like tips and coasts and islands that it almost seems like they're all after post-cataclysm, but then there are these other most ancient, definitely ancient ones, oldest ones, that there are some signs of absolute lost cataclysm. So it's history is such a mess. Who knows what happened when and how many times and all of that. So this is just one more giant, massive vortex, freaking rabbit hole of a hole to go down. And yes, so now finally I shall end it on Paul Cook's main channel, but first actually finally post the link for everybody. This is Paul Cook 2. For those watching on Paul Cook 1, make sure you switch over and make sure you're subscribed to Paul's backup channel. That's some usage and whatnot. So make sure you go over there. But also, we're live on my Crypto Alchemist channel. So please do subscribe if you have not subscribed to my Crypto Alchemist channel. Still unmonetized, still highly suppressed by YouTube algos, and there's still a little Brucey bonus before I end it, back to the Bosnian pyramids that connect Bastion forts, star forts, and citadel cities like Moscow. But before we get to that, if you haven't subscribed to Crypto Alchemist and Paul Cook 2, then definitely do, because I am ending it on the main Paul Cook right now, and I'm going to be ending it on Crypto Alchemist soon too. BurnEye, Mind's Third Eye, ScienceGuy channel, which we're also live on, and that is my backup channel, but it's the only channel YouTube let me monetize on. So we got to get, they just finally let me, after approving me once for only the small channel, then taking it away after I did the interview with Dutch Since, they finally just given it back to me. So remonetized, the only one they let me. BurnEye, Mind's Third Eye, ScienceGuy. I do appreciate everybody over there, and that you know, all 50 of you, that will add up to like 30 cents in like 3 years times worth of ad revenue. So I do appreciate you being there, and just joking, I do love you all. One more time, I do all sorts of crazy live interviews, science experiments, alternative history, alchemy, monoatomics, and more on BurnEye, the Science Guy, and we are live on it right now, and we will continue with the Brucey bonus of the full Dutch Synth Star Fort, shout out Dutch, and the rest of the geoglyphology stuff. and Campbell might join in a little bit. And regardless, I have a program with Campbell later. I don't know, Luke might have fallen asleep. Anywho, last little point before it's ended on Paul Cook 1, for all you still there. If all of that was not enough, that geoglyphology, these same mathematical equations and principles in pyramid architecture and angles and building, is also equally applicable and equally institutionalized or adopted and practiced by the old city, aka Star City, aka Citadel City of the world, aka they were also canal cities, and that the main, from the pinnacle points, those center squares, why they're so important and whatnot. Well, also the main roads and alleys, or the main routes, whatever the heck you want to call them, from the centers, their angles and lengths also equally apply to geoglyphology and the Moscow street geoglyphs. This one right here as the best example, because old city Moscow is in decent state of existence, unchanged, I guess, where the old geoglyphs are still into it. But sure enough, those same road angles and lengths of geoglyphology, when applied to old city Moscow, map out the current, pretty much the current state of Russia, like geographical to the tip of the islands to the northeast, to the borders with China and Mongolia and Uzbekistan, and to the Caspian Sea, coast of the Caspian Sea, to the tip of the Azov, Sea of Azov, and is it the Volga River there? No, I think it's a different one. I forget. And also the tip of Crimea and the Azov Sea to the Black Sea, to 5 or 6 borders of current Ukraine, Belarus, as well as to the tip of Lithuania, the Black Sea, as well as borders of Norway and Sweden, Vostokov over in the east, couple more in the north there. And yeah, so I bet you all the old Star City, Citadel cities have that same principle of geoglyphology, and that I promise I will be doing a full series of geoglyphology and reading Arthur Farham's book on decoding and applying his mathematical equations and systems, how it's done, and him doing it to the pyramids of China, Korea, of Mexico, the US, of the entire world, and how it all works. And then we will be applying it. Oh dear, I hit the wrong one, but okay. We will be doing it. Oh, thank you, Mr. C. And there was a few of you I know I missed, and I was horrible with paying attention to the live chat, and especially thanking the super chatters. I know Angel Wings, you donated 10 to one of us at some point too. Bless you. There was a $20 one that I missed. I'm sorry. I will find it later, and I love you all, whether it went to Paul or whether it went to me on BurnEye. It is appreciated. One more time, for anyone wishing to donate to me through YouTube, once again, it is allowed. And again, they finally reinstated it just a couple days ago, and I'm hopefully getting my first YouTube check in a week's time. For those that would like to donate, give me a super chat. That is the channel, BurnEye, mine's Third Eye. And if you even want to just watch on it over Crypto Alchemist, you know, it's like I'll get half a penny one day, but come on, it helps in the algorithms. It does. So ending it on Paul Cook 1. Finally, this is the last Brucey bonus because it's essential. Stage 3, the geoglyphs built on top of the Bosnian pyramids. Yes, you got it right. This is the remnants of the Bastion forts, the straight Bastion forts, not even like the bastardized Bastion forts, not even the batteries or the Good Star forts, but even just the Bastion forts. And what's that central circle point? Oh, that's the central point of where these angles and those walls or measurements come out of. I believe, and it's all in the book, so it will come out as I read it. So I'll explain it in depth. But yes, Bastion forts also, their structures and architecture, same geoglyphology applies. And look at that. This is the Bastion fort on top of the Pyramid of the Sun, people. This is the exact, like the pyramids, walls, and angles itself are those old ancient territories. Sure enough, here's the colonial civilization from no older than 1500s, but probably even sooner. And it too gives you new points. So it's not that they're copying what was built into it, but they gave you the new points, such as the Canary Islands, Libya's Tripoli, Constantinople, aka Istanbul, the coast of Romania or Hungary there, St. Petersburg. I believe that's either the Danish island that got right where the Nord Streams got blown up, or that is a bigger island of Finland, but the tip of it, and then a couple of other small islands up in the north. So these are all new spots that are additional to the actual walls of the structure of the pyramid that it's built on, but it's giving you the exact same location. And then sure enough, this is the Bastion fort on the moon pyramid, a second one, just in case you're like, oh, cognitive dissonance, it's too much to handle, can't believe it. No, there's a second one on the newer moon, or the newer pyramid. So on both two of these pyramids, they built these, and the Pyramid of the Moon geoglyphs, the remnants of that Bastion fort, but it got more blown up. And it's giving you the same sort of new points as well, but of the same countries and dividing lines. And that he believes circa 500, you see, oops. Oh, okay. So 2,500 years ago, the Etruscans and Celts, aka the global Tartarian Moorish civilization, were forced out of Italy by Romans. Okay, so the current that's when everything, but who knows? That's 500 BCE could actually be 500. I'm trying to come up with a good acronym, but we'll just skip the acronym. 500 legitimate years. Maybe that was actually 1500 AD or BC, before Christ. So no, Common Era. Sorry, CE, Common Era. It now is 500 CE. 15. I don't know. 500 years ago, the last reset. I don't know. Instead of 2,500. Who knows? Could have been both. Could have been just a catastrophe. Either or. Point being, this territory right here, which pretty much is the European Union to a T, and what is being fought for in the current hot war of Eastern Europe to take away from one empire and into the EU empire and Western Empire, away from the remaining Eastern Orthodox, aka Tartarian Empire or existence society, Ukraine, at those borders, all of those points plotted by these two bastard Bastion forts on top of the pyramids. So whether it was 200, 500 years ago that they were built on top of, and boom. And this right here, this is the end of it. Paul Cook 1 channel, so you better be on Paul Cook 2 or BurnEye, Mine's Third Eye, ScienceGuy, or my Crypto Alchemist. Point being, this guy right here, that's the Russia-European border marking. Look at that old Antiquitexed border marker that still exists today between Russia and Europe, and that is like one of the spots. I don't know what other things built into the pyramid and such. That it's ancient, it's crazy, and it's now ending on Paul Cook 1. And don't worry, to all the new people over on my channels, make sure you do subscribe, and I'm going to come find you in the live chats. There's so many moderators because I make everybody a moderator, so just be patient. I'm going to come find you. I'm going to give you a blue wrench. And now it's ending on Paul Cook 1, and oops, I hit the wrong button. It's ending on Paul Cook 1. We got to close it with a little Paul Cook. Easy, Tigers. Brucey bonuses are over. Paul's the man. We love you all. Hop over to Paul Cook 2 or BurnEye. Okay, so we are no longer live on Paul Cook 1, and I will keep it going momentarily on Crypto Alchemist for a few. I'm going to see if the Beegs or if Luke's still awake, or Campbell. I think you were in the chat, but you said you're probably starting something right now. We're still live on Paul Cook 2, so hopefully some Paulians, some easy tigers still with us. And right now, instead of me rambling on for a further time, so look at this, Russian-European border marking 2. So that's clearly NATO now. Boom has come in and been like, boom, we're taking over. It's the new, we still live by it. They know it. They represent it. They built that right there, marking it, telling you they're still using this ancient system, and they understand it, and that we are so much more, so much older than what we've been told, and that once I figure out the exact mathematical equations and precisions of geoglyphology, not just Moscow City, old Moscow, but like old Aleppo, old Damascus, old Paris, old London, and even like old Chicago or New York. Let's see what they say. Let's see them. St. Louis, who knows? It's going to be interesting. But those that want to look into it, I highly recommend everybody do check out ferrumfoundation.com. Link is in the description, and because it's that's just one section. I've only covered like 4. I've only clicked on 4 of those, and I didn't even read them off, and there's 30, and they're all in depth. And then that doesn't even go into the exact specifics. And thank you, Mom, for getting me this book on Amazon. You can get it on Amazon, I think, for pretty cheap. Shout out Arthur Farham. Support the author, support the man doing the work, countless lifetime of hours, and that you can only, you see, once you merge with the metaverse, aka Matrix, aka become a slave to YouTube, aka become immortal in the matrix of the metaverse, you start opening multiple tabs like I do, where you've got one tab is Crypto Alchemist that's watching it live, one tab is BurnEye that's still watching it live, one is Paul Cook Paul Cook 2 still watching it live, and thanks for watching. I'm just adding those last 2. It's it's less than 2 minutes since it ended on Paul Cook 1 because I could put in a little question. Oh, shoot. Why did I large size it on me? There we go. All right. So point being, these are all the ones like the Nazca star glyph. Oh, Karnak stones decoded. Ooh, all of these. But, oh, right. The book. The book is why I had it large sized. So I did have it right. Ancient Signposts by Arthur Fairham. And I support the author. It's available on Amazon. I'm going to get me and an Amazon affiliate link so you can start supporting me through buying stuff on Amazon. I am, you got to use the system to beat the system. I will come give you a blue wrench. Sorry, just wait. I make everybody wrenches, so it's just because I've been rambling on instead of being able to focus on the live chat and coming and giving you a blue wrench. All new subs on my channels will get them as soon as I get back into playing the rest of the Dutch Sense video, which is coming right up. And in doing so, oh, boo boo badoo, badoo badoo, what the heck am I doing? Here we go. Right. That was the book I was sharing. Now I don't need large me anymore. Gotta make sure I remember that. Nazca star lines. So everybody knows Nazca lines in Peru. And while they can only be seen from above, yes, Geoglyphology also applies to them. And he's done a lot of it. So look at that. This is the southern boundaries of these geoglyph lines in the Nazca Desert and the Nazca lines, and then the Medicine Hat Badlands are the northern in southern Alberta here by me that we are doing a meetup to that going to be live 3-day boots on the ground exploration of it that you don't want to miss. And oh, so he goes into covering Polynesia, Micronesia, Malaysia, Melanesia, map of Polynesias, and essentially Lemuria possibilities in some of these ley line keyhole things, Japanese glyphs, what these keyhole glyphs actually are, what those keys are. Those keys are the geoglyphs. That is the key to geoglyphs. What is this megalithic thing here? What is on this megalithic mound? The keyhole that is a geoglyph. It is the key to understanding the maps of the territories and seeing from above. Boom, look at that. Oh, that right there, geoglyphs. The radials plot out using the mathematic geometry. Boom. Tips of Australian continent, tips of Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, tip of India, tip of Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Like it's wow, wee wah. Wow, wee wah. Is that a wow, wee wah moment? I think it's a wow, wee wah moment. They're nonstop on FairhamFoundation.com. So yes, I will be doing more in-depth Fairham Foundation series and videos coming up. I think I'll dive a little bit into it tonight in my autodidactic alchemist series with Campbell, which will be coming up in a few hours time once Campbell is done the current live that he's doing. But I think we'll go into the Matland, the pre-Columbian history of the historic Matland Tower, the Fairham Tower as he calls it, this new structure and how it works. And it actually will explain, I believe, the system that he uses a bit more in depth. We'll also probably check out the Indonesian pyramids a bit more, look into the Chinese pyramids more. And, because apparently us doing hidden history and alternative history research works and live streams and videos on pyramids makes us Illuminati confirmed. Just fucking ridiculous. That one channel. Sorry, I'm ranting, but schizos, claimed Campbell. Autodidactic, our lovely Australian brother, whose parents probably chose his name for him. I'm guessing he had no knowledge or, for choice. Claims he is a Mason because he has Bell in his name. Yes, someone is making ridiculous videos with ridiculous claims. It's just ridiculous. But anywho, back to more important things. The Portugal Star Fortress battery that we all know and love so much. Well, boom, there it is. He also applies geoglyphology to it and to Sri Lanka, Mexico, Chichen Itza site, which I will be doing a more full-depth, full feature video coming up on Chichen Itza because, and Jeremy actually reminded me and triggered the memory. It brought me back to being there and standing there. I was so just awe-inspired and impressed by the shadow of the setting sun. I think we made it to. I don't think I was up, or maybe it was. I was there in the morning. I forget. I think it was the morning, actually, because then they tour bus. One of the rare times I was up in the morning. No, it was after the cenotes. It was the sunset. We had already been swimming. The cenotes are so crazy and cool in Mexico, too. These underground freshwater cave systems and everything. Anywho, all part of the ancient pyramid builders of ancient society. I was there. I witnessed the equinox of the serpent moving on the setting sun thing on the side. And because of that, I had forgotten I also experienced the tour guide doing the clap in the center and how it shoots the beam of sound and then magnifies it and it comes back and it hits you. It's so nuts. But I had forgotten that I actually experienced that while I was there, until Jeremy Reese, my good friend, Alien Scientist, shout out Alien Scientist. We're going to be doing we have many more streams coming up together, including another one with Dutch Synths that I will be doing with Jeremy. But yeah, Jeremy loves bringing up that fact and just how impossible it is to construct something that acoustically, for better word, sound, that when he played that clip, it actually got our last live stream with that topic removed due to it being a National Geographic recording and the copyright striking us. But that's why I'm not playing it right now. But when I heard it, it brought me back, my consciousness back in there and zoomed me into that one spot where you're literally in the middle of where it happened. It's just crazy. And it brought me back. Bam! I was oh my god, I remember that now. I was there. That happened. It was epic. But yeah. So now I'm gonna stop rambling. I encourage everybody to look into Ferrum Foundation, theferrumfoundation.com, that has all of this amazing resources of Arthur Ferrum's life works and such geoglyphology happening, being applied to the Portugal Uber Starfort battery, the Chichen Itza pyramid, the Egyptian astrological calendars of the Dogon, Mexico, just the Pacific Nan Madol. That was something we're going to be going in depth with Dutch Synths. Turkey at why can I never remember the name of the 13,000-year-old Turkey place? It will come to me. I was literally thinking of it when I saw it earlier. Some more Canadian ruins. I'm gonna have to look into that one. Do an episode on that. Nazca lines, all of them, everywhere. He's done so much, and the link is in the description. And one more time, here it is posted in the live chat. And I'm showing the book, but I don't know the link because I gotta find it. But I gotta create a link with me with an Amazon account. So by clicking on it, you support me, and I will get on there. All right, now I'm gonna shut up. Now everybody that's on me channels, I'm coming to give you the blue wrenches, so you cannot be deleted, and you can share everything. Because your voice deserves to be heard. Nobody deserves to be deleted, and everybody deserves to share and be able to subscribe to each other. That's another thing. You can actually, by being a moderator, click on another channel and go to it and subscribe to it. So within the live chat. That is my BurnEye monetized YouTube channel, and I will be ending on Crypto Alchemist here momentarily, so make sure you go over to my BurnEye channel if you have yet to subscribe to it. And back to Twitter. Remember, watching YouTube videos through Twitter gives you better sound, better picture, and 0 YouTube ads, unlike when watching YouTube on YouTube and they force you to watch ads. Although I guess that's how you do it on my BurnEye channel without watching ads, because they don't give me anything anyways. Anywho, if you want to donate, super chats are appreciated. Love you all. Thank you for everybody who has supported us. And back to Dutch Sense.
These somehow 1,400 feet across, 8 miles long, and they somehow were sailing boats down the river, but not up it, because obviously going up 400 feet is going to be pretty hard, right? But let's just say that they did the French and Spanish artifacts there. Now get this. Guess what this place is called? Let's turn on our borders and labels. Femme Osage. La Femme Osage. Now, I know something weird is going on with this location in particular, because right here on the east side of the backside, see where it says Defiance, Hamburg, and Weldon Spring? This was the Manhattan Project site, starting right around World War II, going up to the 1970s. Mallinckrodt and other corporations running the ordnance generation out here for the uranium for the Manhattan Project. And they actually have it all lumped together here in a huge storage pile and an army base there as well on the back side of this thing. But this was all huge U.S. government Manhattan Project, nuclear storage on the back side of this, which is a star fort. And this, on the old map from St. Louis, is the same shape. So I'll just tell you, this shape right here is something that we're going to be talking about at length going forward because of other things that we're finding around the world. But I just wanted to bring this to the attention of all the academics here in Missouri, here in the Midwest, online, around the world. Everybody needs to know about this. And you can't tell me it's known about because it's just... There's no state site here. There's nothing. They're quarrying on one side. We've got a pipeline pulling water from it, and everybody's ignored it. Meanwhile, there it is. Now you can't miss it. Here, let's turn off all the names and borders and labels. Here's St. Louis. Now you can't miss it. There is no doubt that matches. That's a perfect match. It's 2 different locations, 2 different cities, 2 different spots, 50 miles apart. Who could build something like this a long time ago? And why would they need to have these kind of defenses? Again, when we're talking, let's get a line measurement on this so you can see it one more time. That when we're talking from the center here, you can't tell me it's going to be for cannons or something for somebody to look out, because you can't look out like that. You'd have to be in a tower. And this is miles and miles, 6 or 10 miles away from the center of here. And water's flowing out of this thing. They're using it for water. This thing's for water for some reason. Same with the one in St. Louis. And so it's not for cannons. And if it's for water, this is advanced. Extremely advanced. To be flowing out and down like that, in that shape in particular. And it's weathered over time. So weathered that I would say I put it at least many hundreds to maybe a few thousand years old. maybe maybe a few thousand years old. I don't know the exact time I'd say on this, but I'd say certainly it's older than the French. And when you start looking that the French have this on their map, what if this was already there? And they just spruced it up or refurbished it. They found it and redid it. What if these are from the Hopewell Indians? And that, again, it's some kind of water facility. Again, there's no doubt about it on this map. It is a moat around the facility. They have a pathway going up to it on land, which goes up through some trees and a little bit of forest. And I can vouch for this. I live here in St. Louis, well, just west, but I'm from St. Louis, that this is certainly a rise from the riverfront going all the way back up into here.
Oh my God. Thank you, S. Sorry, I'm not even have the comment up, but Göbekli Tepe is the name of the 13,000-year-olds. If not, so there's some of them at the other tepes there, and possibly even at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, older than 13 and 11,500-year-olds. Each of them seem to be a little bit different ages, some pre, some post cataclysm. And yes, everybody who has commented on my BurnEye comment, you should all have my BurnEye live chat. You should all be blue wrenched now. If I accidentally missed you, please comment again. And if you haven't commented yet and were intimidated because all there are blue wrenches, well, you need to hop on over and comment in the live chat, and I will make you a blue wrench. And now that I've done it on BurnEye, I shall. Oh, there you are, turtle. Boom, blue wrench. And now I will do it on Crypto Alchemist as I get back to Dutch Sense playing, and then it oh, John Doe, okay, you got a blue wrench too. Blue wrench is for everybody. That's how we do it here. Everybody's equal. Never again. Did I miss you, or are you back? Either way, boom, there it is. There it is, because I love you all. And now that it's all done on the BurnEye, coming over to do it on the Crypto. Oh, Chia Pet, boom, there you are. And don't worry, you can still do it on BurnEye as I go over to Crypto and give all of the unwrenched wrenches on Crypto. I will come back after, and anybody that's new that's put it on BurnEye, you'll have a blue wrench too, and on Crypto, because that's how I do. Everybody gets to share, nobody gets deleted, and you get to befriend each other and left or right click, I believe, on like the right side option of another moderator, and you can actually get the direct link to their channel and easily subscribe to each other, because sharing is caring, and that's what it's all about.
Back up to where we have the old lake that they drained, the lake that was in a basin up above that they drained out down through the river Depere. So over here on this side, this is flowing downhill, and you can see it. They've drawn a waterfall there. They got a bridge right above the waterfall. And then it goes down this way and flows in. That's phenomenal. And it looks like also they have a path that goes over to the east, and we don't see anything over to the east. But when I find stuff like this, I have to show my audience and tell the world, because this, if this gets missed, farmers might continue to plow the fields. I can certainly tell you this, I'm right here. Dam and flooded this lake right here next to it for some reason, as part of a project for the scientists at the Manhattan Project to come over and have a resort to stay at. That's the excuse for why they built this place where I live at here. They built this place as a resort for the scientists. Anyway, maybe there was something else there. Anyway, I'll tell you this. This has to be investigated. I'm going to go investigate myself. I have metal detectors. I have, they can look maybe a few feet down to the ground. I'd be willing to rent a VLF, maybe cart or something that we could push around to get VLF measurements down on the ground, see what we can find. There's many things around here that look like what I would call Native American mounds. These are so big. These are hundreds of feet high. There is no way somebody built this in modern time. Think about it. The French or the Spanish hunt 500 feet high, 8 miles long, 1,500 feet wide channels for what? For water to flow down? It just doesn't make sense. And the weathering on this shows how old it is. This is way old. This is way older than a couple hundred years worth of weathering. This is like a couple thousand years worth of weathering. Just my estimation. You know, I could be wrong on that, but on that time frame. But the one over here, they have it marked in 1796, and the Geospatial Agency. Please, guys, please. If you don't know that what I'm talking about on the shape, I'll trace it out for you in my mouse here one more time. There it is. And we will turn this to the direction of the map that they have. It just shows, there it is. Okay, and there it is. And maybe I need to tilt mine. I don't need to actually, that's too far. Let's bring it. Their north is more pointed to the, like that. Okay, there we go. All right. It makes it a little harder to, believe it or not, that makes it hard to see in the streets, but it comes out and goes up to the pinnacle this way. With this is the center of it, so you know what to look for. Comes up, goes back down and around. That is it. That is it. Orientation on their map for the land mass is wrong slightly. The north is probably the most accurate thing on the map. The structures and so forth probably aren't exactly exact, but it's so close. I mean, again, they're pointing in the same direction. We got the water coming out of the one in St. Louis. The one over Femme Osage, which I guess we should just now start calling it Fort Femme Osage, has the water pipe in it right here along the road where they're taking the water right here. Same thing. All right. Somebody needs to go investigate this aside from me, and that's why I want my viewers to send this over to any academia in Missouri, that would be Columbia, college over in Columbia, up at Kirksville. Also, any other college across the state or across the United States or across the world. This is log. Louis, Missouri. And it's a French map, and it has north oriented this way, so you can see.
Okay, sorry. So it got into Dutch's regular forecasting. I think it played the thing there. I was looking for the YouTube. Oh, see, then it takes you to YouTube. Sorry. I'm also looking for his Florida megastructure, more recent one. This one we just watched was about a week or two old, and then he's got a newer one with even more mega starfort structures that he's discovered in the Florida panhandles as well, which is just phenomenal. Oh, shout out Dutch, that's fun. They beat the algorithms to get up to 600K. My man got 600K. Props to you, Michael. Shout out to Dutch, and we will be doing a Dutch Synths, Paul Cook, myself interview very soon. I promise you all of that. It is coming. Also a Dutch Synths round table, the video that is coming, and finally lastly with the alien scientist and Dutch Synths and myself and Jeremiah nerd out that will just be beyond epically. What? Come on. Why? No. Sorry, just trying to copy the link. There we go. That's why it didn't work. From YouTube back into Twitter, because Twitter, we watch it. We don't get no ads, and it seems that the video and sound quality is pretty pristine overall.
Hello. It's 9:35 a.m. Central Time on the going found off the coast of Florida. And I'll show you a close-up view first. This rectangle in the middle is 3 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles. And going out from it, out each point, at least 4 sides. Now, I have this flipped for easy viewing, I guess. But you can view this. This is the Florida Keys itself. Let me show you the next picture. Backing it out, you can see it even further. These are the keys. Again, I have this facing south. This is north. This is south. I can turn it back around. We'll go do that in a second. But this is the structure in the middle that I'm talking about. That's 3 miles, 5 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles. Then going southwest, southeast, and south off of it are these that go out to another line that spreads out even further and goes east, because again, this is upside down, but I'll show you proper orientation in a second. Here's a far out view of it. Here's the Florida Keys going down to Key West down here. Again, we're looking at South Florida, where south is this way. Okay, now I'm going to show you something further that I found, but here it is in the middle, 3 by 5. I can't believe it. This is in the shape of an ancient bastion fort of some kind or some kind of city. This goes out about 12 miles. The line goes out 12 miles and 20 miles all the way out to the edge out here where there's a third. It's like a spider web. This looks like Amsterdam, sort of, the shape of an ancient European city. I'm not exaggerating. This is really there, guys. This is really in the water in Florida Keys, just next to the Florida Keys. Most of these are all submerged. These are just the
All right.
image up above.
Switch over to BurnEye.
Okay,
if
now,
you're on
this is what
Crypto
I've been posting.
Alchemist,
This is what I
post the
found.
link in the live chat as
Then
I am
I found
hitting
this.
it on Crypto Alchemist.
And what I'm showing
only
you,
on
you can
BurnEye
see
and
on this
Salsa
side,
too.
and this, I have a zoom in on it. This is the map from St. Louis that I'm pulling these pictures from here that I was talking about with the Bastion Fort. And look what I found down in Florida. We'll compare that to this. It's right here. It's on the edge of this, which has this on the edge, which is one of these. And going back to the map, we'll back it out. We have a pentagonal one that's just like the one down in Florida. So we have this one, and this one. This is St. Louis, 1796 St. Louis, Missouri. But I'm showing it to you down in the swamps of Florida. All right. And that's where this led me into what I just found. That's absolutely phenomenal, which is why I'm making the video to record this now. Okay, let me show you the spot we're talking about. Here is Florida. We'll zoom in on it. Now, everybody's familiar with the famous dry tortugas, or maybe not everybody, but down here is the mysterious hexagonal fort, which we're told was built during the Civil War. But it's more of a Bosnian look and Spanish look to it. And look how many bricks it is. This is a dry tortugas out in the middle of the ocean. There's no fresh water on these islands at all. It's a small little island. They built a fort there. Everybody's, again, talking about that is what they thought I was talking about. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. Here it is. So here are the keys. This is proper north now. So this thing is centered due north, magnetic north too. I mean, now that the Earth is slightly shifted magnetically, but yeah, I'm turning it again. It is perfectly north, south, east, and west. Now, off the south side, the southeast side, the southwest side, the east side, the northwest side, the northeast side, and then back here is where I just found this. You can now see it. 1, 2. You can see the side of this, and it goes to this. And here is the diamond shape that I'm showing you on the map here in St. Louis. Why does that matter? What I just found is much bigger, much, much bigger. You have to look far out to see this. But now that I've seen it, it's indisputable. First of all, facing due north again, take a look at the Google map, due north. And what I found here on the side with this in it is part of a larger complex. Look, I'm going to measure this to prove it to you. But here's the side of it. and I will get out the line measurement tool just to show you. I can't believe this is here. I cannot believe it, but it is. So starting back here, do you see? I'm not pareidylian, guys. This is